LATD Nation, we are back in here once again, as always, with another edition of the second annual LATD Spooktacular.
Yes,
I
sir.
am your boy RG from the 843, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Jay Fix-It. Boy, how y'all doing, man?
Man, I'm excited for this one. Excited to get back in here in the studio. Talk about another horror movie. I would say that this is a necessary classic, but this is a movie a lot of people seem to enjoy. We're here to bring y'all a review and look at the details of Rec 2, which is the sequel to Rec, movie we reviewed last year. Or is it REC?
It don't matter. Record.
It really don't matter.
You don't say RECORD.
It really don't matter. But yeah, no, if you are familiar with Rec, you already know the concept. It's I would say it's not necessarily one of the original found footage movies in the genre, but it's probably one of the most well-known, acclaimed, and celebrated, along with the original Paranormal Activity. Right. And in this sequel right here, which go ahead and watch our review that we did last year, the original, still highly recommend, great movie. This movie takes place immediately after the events of the first one, set in the same building, set really in the same time period, time frame, kind of revolves around the same virus. And that's pretty much all you really need to know.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's more of what made the first one great, but dialed up to 11.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that I think just jumping in immediately, that's the main thing that, I really seem that took from it. Mm-hmm. It's just this movie just kind of like dives in head first. It just kind of like just takes you through all the emotion. It takes you all through the adrenaline, just pretty much off the bat.
Right. Because one thing I really did love about this movie is the fact that it takes place right after the first one ended.
Facts.
And instead of it being a crew of like TV and news reporters and stuff like that and reality show type of people, it's a whole SWAT team.
Yeah, facts.
I don't want to say a whole SWAT team because there's only like 4 of them, but it's a whole team of police that's investigating what happened throughout the events of the first movie. Why is the virus here? Why is it taking over like this? Who's responsible for it? And right off, like you said, it is definitely cranked up to 11.
For sure. But I think one thing I'll say that for me, as far as like going into it, I don't feel like there was as much of a sense of dread just because, one, this is the sequel, and two, like you said, this is a SWAT team that we open with. So, they have guns, they have training. So it's a little bit different in the sense that you almost feel more of a sense of security.
Right.
You almost kind of feel a sense of, these are people that are kind of prepared for this situation.
Right.
Whereas the first one, we followed the reporter Angela in her late night TV show. It's just a bunch of firemen. It's just a bunch of firefighters. So it's not people who necessarily really are equipped for what is to come. And also, it's the fact that with the first one, they didn't know what to expect.
Right. I was going to say that too. Because the thing is, but this one, like they got knowledge of what's to come. They, more or less got knowledge of what's to come. As
they
far
have
as
more knowledge than what was originally given in the first one.
Right. Yeah. In other words, they know what happened. So it's just going into it. They just don't know if they're going to get attacked or not because the main guy. Because you already know, there's always that one character in a horror movie that's like, oh, we got to stay on movies like these, especially. We got to stay on mission. We got to make sure no matter the cost type of characters. He says like, oh yeah, you don't have to wear your mask. It's not in the air. It's in the saliva. It's in the liquid and everything like that. Pause. And it's like, and he says like, there's no danger here.
Yeah.
And come to find out, there's definitely danger. And like,
okay.
And exactly, yeah. Now, danger is an understatement. Because the thing is, why I love this movie, another reason why I love this movie so much is because instead of that sense of dread, like you mentioned, Rod, it's more a sense of
almost false comfort.
False comfort. Because some of these, I don't know if they said this in the last movie if they were bulletproof, but in this movie they're bulletproof. The zombies are bulletproof. They're tougher. They're more durable.
They seem like they've evolved a little bit more.
Yeah. It's like it's really somewhat similar to the clickers in Last of Us. If anything, the runners and the clickers and the bloaters in the Last of Us, because those are a motherfucker to get through too.
For real. Because these ain't your, Walking Dead, just kind of fumble and stumble type of like walkers. These are these 28 days later. Usain Bolt, I
Yeah.
don't know. These niggas are on some kind of steroid type of zombie.
Exactly, bro. And that's the scary part of this whole thing. Like, you don't know where they're coming from. Yeah, they still do the same thing that they did in the first movie, where they just stand there for a little bit and then attack. But but they still be popping out of nowhere. Like, they on
They be
ceilings.
popping out and showing niggas.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
For sure.
sir, they certified boogeymen. They the one that up the score with
Nah,
them.
for real. They legit certified boogeyman.
Like, they be coming out of the ceilings, out of the floor, and the ground. Like, they be on your ass for real.
And that's what I'm saying. That's one thing I really like about these movies. These zombies right here be on, because I think this movie kind of came out in an era where, you know, they were kind of trying to do away with the, you know, the zombie as we know it, the very kind of like slow, very bumbling and stumbling kind of like get you in numbers. These zombies is few and far in between. Like, you don't really get too much of a horde or a crowd of them, but when you do, and when you see them, you understand how much of a threat it is, because if it takes that much to take one down, two down, just imagine a whole horde. And then, you know, of course, this is the same setting as the first movie where, you know, they're in like sort of like this apartment complex where these zombies are chasing you all up and down like the stairs and whatnot. Creates a lot of tension, really keeps you on your toes. Very atmospheric. And that's one thing I like about these movies, that it doesn't really give the characters a whole lot of time to breathe. They just have to constantly keep moving.
Exactly, yeah. And that's another thing. The production, kind of like, one thing about this movie, it's not as scary as the first one is. Not by I won't even say not by a mile, because it is still very, very scary.
Oh yeah,
but it's not as scary as the first one, because we already know what we're getting into. But one thing I like is that they didn't keep the same formula as the first one, as far as trying to,
different. Yeah.
Exactly, like you said, they cranked it up to 11. They cranked up the intensity. The first one is scarier, but this one is way more tense, and it'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Like, it's less predictable than the first one too.
Facts, especially because, as we mentioned, you know, and not to go into specifics, but the zombies do show a little bit of an evolution. They're smarter too. They're definitely smarter. They show more an ability, more of a cognitive function than what we previously saw. Because before they were kind of mindless, but no, for sure they definitely know a thing or two.
Yeah, exactly.
They're a little bit smarter than you think, and I think that also plays a role as to why it's a little bit more sort of like you said, unpredictable, because you just don't really know what to expect from them. You don't know how far they've evolved. You don't know what this one is gonna do compared to what the last one was, what the last one did. It's just a whole lot of just like, you know, keep you on the edge of your seat, like you said.
Right, and a lot of the characters in here aren't your traditional horror movie characters, except for the one that I mentioned before.
For sure.
About the, you know, staying on mission no matter the cost type deal.
There's always that one.
But it's not like the characters in here are dumb either. Like, they're smart. They're working with what they've got.
Facts.
But that's how you know they're just more ignorant than they are like stupid. They are unintelligent. Like, they're like there's a scene where,
and I would say in over their head, if anything.
In over their head. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. They underestimate a lot of these zombies too. That's what I noticed. They thought they come in here in the beginning of the movie like playing around, joking and everything, like there's gonna be a breeze. But nah, I'm not gonna say how many get taken out, but a good bit of them get taken out in the first movie.
Oh yeah.
Not the first. Well, of course they do in the first
movie.
First
and the second, yeah.
Yeah, but in the first half of the movie is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Well, not even the first half. The first quarter.
Yeah, they make a statement with the beginning of this movie for sure.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, and another thing, the characters are as smart as they need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's not cartoonishly dumb.
It's not like to the point of like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you go in there? Why would you this, that, and but there.
Well, I mean, then again, I was like that.
There was some moments in there where it's like, nigga, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I won't give it a spoiler, but there are kids that show up in this thing.
Yeah. Which one thing I do like about this movie, again, no spoilers, is that they kind of switch perspectives a little bit more. They kind of jump in between perspectives of like what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Because you got the cops' perspective, and then you got the kids' perspective, and the kids, they're dumb kids who just got thrust into a situation.
For sure.
that they kind of wanted to be in. Well, two
yeah.
of them did not, well, but they can, like, I hate to say it, they kind of got what they deserve.
Yeah.
But on to the little bit of the negative, there ain't much in here. But I didn't like the production as much with this one as I did the first one. The first one was very much a one take found footage system. While this one kept cutting off the camera every so often. And that was the thing that bothered me the most.
That's fair. Yeah, I can understand that because, like you said, the first one was a lot more seamless. It was a lot more of it did feel like one long recording. Like this felt like actual found footage. This felt like it was kind of like, this felt more like you could tell that there was more of a budget behind this one. You could tell that there was a little bit more of a sense of making a movie, not so much a found footage movie. So you could see the cuts and everything and where people were kind of like, okay, let's cut it here so, we can pick it up here. So you could kind of see a little bit more of the editing side of things. You could kind of see more of the Hollywood-esque type of like aesthetic with it.
Yeah. No, that was really my biggest flaw with the movie. And I did say originally that it kind of slowed the momentum, but not really. It was just kind of random, if anything. Another thing about it, I wish I cared about these characters a tad bit more.
Yeah, I kind of do wish they give you more of a reason to, because really there's no real reason to really care about any, because I remember at one point in the movie, I think it's the priest asked, some of the SWAT team, do you have kids? And they don't really answer. So you don't really get an idea of who these folks are outside of this uniform. Like they don't really humanize anybody.
Right, exactly. Not even the kids. The kids are just, when you first meet them, they start off like you meet them and they end off like you meet them.
Facts,
just kind of,
there's no real evolution. They don't really even get a whole lot of time to evolve.
Right, like unlike the first one, you fall in love with dang near every character you meet.
Facts,
and you hate to see them go.
Exactly, because they give you more of a time to like build up to everything. Because at the beginning of the first one, everything is fine, everything is status quo. Everybody's kind of playing around, everybody's kind of joking, getting to know each other. So once you get into the danger of things, that's when, you kind of feel for these characters because you're seeing them become terrified and just break down mentally in real time.
Right.
They don't start off in a harrowing situation.
Right. Like these characters, I wouldn't say they're unlikable because for me, I wouldn't say
kind of assholes.
The kids were some assholes for real. But like you said in the beginning of the first movie, like you said, is very much they're just just trying to get a feel for what's going on. That's why they're a little laid back. You know what I'm saying? But this one, they're like completely cocky in this one. Like, oh yeah, no, this is gonna be a breeze type stuff. And then we saw how far that breeze went.
Facts.
And then, but other than that, I give this movie like a solid. I give it a solid 9.
Facts. I ain't really have too many complaints with it.
Yeah, me neither.
I think it was a worthy conclusion to the first one. You low-key think that this was better than the first one. This improved.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, that's another point I made. I think it's overall better than the first movie. It's kind of like how the Spider-Verse movies had an effect. I like the second one more than the first one, but at the same time, it made the first one better.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Same here with this movie. I like this one better because the suspense was more kicked up and more, and it doesn't treat your audience like you're stupid. It doesn't have a big long expedition bust about why they're here and everything. They just tell you, oh, they're here because of this, that, and the third, and let's go, let's get this, and let's go.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? So
it got straight to the point.
And then another thing, it's like seamless between the first two. Like you could watch these two movies back to back. And it doesn't seem like there's anything stopping it. You know what I'm saying? It's still just as captivating as the first one.
Facts. Exactly. It took what made the first one good and it built on it, and it kind of kept the momentum going. It kind of did a good job of, parlaying what the first one did into creating its own momentum, but it still stands out on its own though.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely still stands out on its own. I'd say probably at the end, the end was great. No spoilers given. The ending, it was a very interesting way that they did it, but you could kind of say that it was a little bit derivative. just for the fact that it kind of ended in the same place and it didn't do quite the same thing. It kind of was a twist, but still the way it was set up and the fact that this was the same place, you could kind of say it was a little bit derivative, kind of give it a little bit of a nitpick, but they did it just a little, just different enough to where I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what's next? Where does it go next? There are 2 more entries in this franchise. Low key, shit, I wouldn't mind watching and reviewing them too.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all want to see that, let us know. Like, subscribe.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, man, I've been Jay.
This has been Rodney.
And we're LATD. We got more videos coming. Frightful Friday. Frightening Friday, I meant. Y'all stay tuned, man. We got another good one for you. Please, everybody, stay safe out there. God bless you. Look at the details. Peace.